Hi there, I'm Simon from TF Drive, and today we're going to go through the Show Me Tell Me questions as part of your vehicle check part of your practical driving test. This vehicle is a Ford Fiesta 2017 plate. If you've got an instructor with a different vehicle, please make sure you go through those with them as well. It's important to remember that these are tell me questions, not show me questions. So even though in these next couple of videos I'm showing you where things are and how you would check, all you need to do on your driving test is just explain what you would do. You haven't got to exit the vehicle, you haven't got to go and check your tyre tread depth, that sort of thing. You need to just sit in the vehicle and just explain how you would check it. So when you're checking your brakes, they shouldn't feel spongy or slack. The vehicle shouldn't pull to one side, and the easiest way to check is turn your engine on, move off slowly, and then press your brake, and they should feel like they react. So if you're trying to find the tyre pressures for this vehicle, the recommended levels, you could either find them on the door pillar on the side of some newer cars, but all of them will be in the manufacturer's guides that will usually be in the glove compartment of your vehicle. You need to check and adjust your pressures when the tyres are cold. You need to use a reliable pressure gauge, and please make sure that you refit the valve caps afterwards, and also don't forget your spare tyre. So your head restraint should be adjusted so the rigid part, or the thickest part of the head restraint, should be at least as high as your eyes or top of your ears. And you'd adjust it using this button here, and you'd adjust it by sitting like this and just pulling it up. So I'm going to go up a little bit on mine. I've got one more actually. And that suits me fine. So to check our tread depth on our tyres, we want to make sure we've got at least 1.6 millimeters across the central 3/4 breadth of the tyre. We want to use a reliable tread depth gauge like this one here. And the easiest way to check, if you come down with me, we're going to pop the tread depth gauge inside the tyre. We're going to push down on that nice and gently. We're going to bring that out, and that should show us what our tread depth is. So mine says I've got just under 6 millimeters left on my tyre. You also want to make sure that there's no cuts or bulges around the face of the tyre too, and no general damage. So to check our headlights and tail lights are working, we need to come down to this part of the vehicle, down the right hand side of the driver's seat. So to check that, we need to make sure our ignition is turned on, so our dashboard lights up. We then want to make sure that our headlights are turned all the way to the right, and then the dashboard will show a green light show up on there. And then what we then do, that just tells us the lights are on. We then want to walk around the vehicle and check that both the headlights and both the tail lights at the back are working properly. So the easiest way to check that our anti-lock braking system is working, or ABS, is to turn our ignition on using our key. And then if you can come down to this part, we're just going to make sure that ABS light stays off. So it's gone off. If it stays on as we turn the ignition on, we know we've got a problem with the car. So to check our indicator lights are working, a lot of people do this the wrong way. Some people would actually suggest that you turn the ignition on and then you put your indicator stalk up, check all the lights, get back in again, put them down and check the other side. There's a much easier way of doing that. You don't even need to use your indicator stalk. You can have your engine turned off. All you would do is you come down and you press your hazard triangle button, and that's going to put your front and rear and even side indicator lights on all at the same time, and then you walk around the vehicle, make sure they're all working correctly. So to check our brake lights are working, what we need to do with this one, we need to know ignition on. We need to press our brake pedal, and then we'd even need to reverse up to a garage door or a window, something that was reflective so we could see that our lights were working. Or if we had somebody with us, like I'm going to have in a moment, we can ask them to check for us. Are they working?
Yes.
So how do we check our power assisted steering is working just before we set off on a journey? We want to make sure our engine's turned on. So if the engine turned off, the wheel should feel heavy and difficult to move. as you turn the engine fully on, the wheel should loosen up and move a lot more freely. If it stays heavy and hard to move when you turn the engine on, there's a problem. That's the easiest way of checking. So we're going to check our rear fog light is working just by doing this. So what we do, we put our ignition on, we turn our dipped headlights on first of all, and then we push our rear fog light button. Now on this car, this one is your front fog light, the one on the right is your rear fog light. You just press that button there, little orange light comes up on your dashboard, and you would use your rear fog light when visibility is less than 100 meters. So to switch our headlights from dipped beam to main beam, or full beam, or high beam as some people call them, we put our ignition on, we turn our dipped headlights on like we did in the video earlier on, and then we'd come down to this, the indicator stalk here, our green light's on for our headlights, we'd pull this stalk all the way towards us until it clicks, and we'd know they're turned on. There's a little blue light that shows up on the dashboard there. To take them off, you then pull it towards you again, blue light goes off, dipped headlights off, engine off. So they may ask you to look under the bonnet as well. They're still tell me questions, but you'd have to open the bonnet, lift the latch and explain what you do under there. So to get under the bonnet in this car, you want to reach your hand down to where the accelerator pedal is, quite low down, you'll feel a flap, pull that towards you, that will release the bonnet. And if we meet yourselves around this side, look at where the forward sign is down there. There's a little yellow catch there that's been created. You see that there? If you pull that to the left and lift up on the bonnet at the same time, that will release the bonnet catch. Pull the stalk out of there, in these little two holes there, that's the bonnet open. So we'll check our oil level first of all, so at sufficient levels. So we're going to come down to our engine is, we're going to locate where our dipstick is, we're going to pull that out, we're going to give it a wipe with a cloth, because when we drive, the oil goes sloshy and it might not give us an accurate reading. Dip that back in again, take it out again, and our oil should be in between the two notches on that marker there. If your oil is under that marker, you can add your oil by unscrewing that cap there where your oil canister sign is, and you add oil in that way. So to check our hydraulic brake fluid level, we need to first of all locate where that tank is, and that's actually down where the yellow marks are, just on this tank there. It's quite a clear liquid, so it's quite hard to see it sloshing around, but if I move it like that, you can just see it, and we want the level to be in between the minimum and the maximum level there, and it is. It's just right at the top of the max level there, so we know we're okay. So once we've done our bonnet question, we're going to pop the bonnet back down again, we're going to hold on to the bonnet, we're going to release the stick, make sure it clicks back into its little holster there. Don't just let the bonnet go, bring it down gently, take it down, you want to take your fingers off and then push it down till it clicks. So now we're on to our show me questions, and they're going to ask you one of these while you are driving during your driving test. So it might be on a long straight stretch of road where it's reasonably safe to do so. If you don't feel like the road is safe that you're on, you can always wait until you're on a safer road or on a safer area before you demonstrate you can do this. So one of our show me questions might be, how would you wash and wipe your front windscreen? So to do that, our ignition has to be on, and your engine will be on if you're doing it on a driving test. And all you would do is you'd come down to your stalk here, you'd hold this button on the end, hold it in for a couple of seconds, and it will wash and it will wipe the front window. To wash and wipe our rear window, we're going to use the same stalk and we're going to pull it towards us. Now the click puts the wiper on, and then the extra bit we're going to pull towards us sprays the windscreen as well. And it will wipe 3 times and it will stop. Just make sure you push it away so it turns off afterwards. So another one of our show me questions proving we can multitask might be to turn on our dipped headlights while we're driving. So our dipped headlights are down here, just where our key goes. And we want to be able to do this while we're driving, so a bit of multitasking. You want to just turn that dial to the right twice. Green light pops up on your dashboard, and then you can turn off again straight afterwards. That's your show me question done. So one of our other show me questions might be, how would you set the front demister? Now on this car, it's actually very easy. Some cars you have to adjust the dials quite a lot, but because Ford Fiestas have got heated front windows, all you've got to make sure is that this dial is set so it's covering a bit of your windscreen, either that notch or that notch there. And all you've then got to do is just push this button on the left here that looks like the shape of the front window until the yellow light comes on. And that will actually prioritise your front windscreen. They may also ask you to demist your rear windscreen, and you do that, again, this notch in the same place, and all you need to press there is just this button on the right hand side here, which shows the square window and the air pressing through it. Push that button until the orange light comes on, and that's going to demist your rear window. In an ideal world, you get asked the easiest question imaginable as your show me question, and that is, can you show me how to operate the horn? Now you do that on a road that was really quiet. You don't really want anybody else around you because you might startle people or think they've done something wrong, but they'll genuinely ask you that right at the start of your driving test, just as you're leaving the test centre when you're on a quiet stretch of road. And to operate the horn, very, very simply, just one firm press, horn done. One of the other show me questions I might ask you is, how would you put down your side window? Now you just reach down to where your door handle is. There's two buttons here. You want the one on the right hand side that's going to cover your window, and to pop that down you just push it. Window goes down. You haven't got to push it down all the way, just enough, and then put it back towards you again. Window goes up again. So that covers all of your show me and your tell me questions. Remember, they're going to ask you one of each on your driving test. The tell me question will be when you're in the test centre car park in the car before you've left the test centre ready to start your test. The show me question will be at some point on the move, usually on a quiet, safe stretch of road. If you get one of them wrong or both of them wrong, it's only worth one minor fault, so one driver fault. So you can't fail for getting them wrong. However, it's a very good introduction into you as a driver, and it shows the examiner that you know how this car works. Hope that's helped, guys. Any questions or comments, please let me know. And there'll be another video coming up soon. Thank you.